Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. I'm excited. We've got a guest coming up later in the program. Where did I put my notes? Wow. I got a big old mess in this room right now, don't I?
It's always a mess.
It's just a little more mess today than normal. Body Kindness by Rebecca Scritchfield is the name of a book. I'm actually pretty excited about this interview because she's saying that you shouldn't be doing diets. You should be kind to your body. I love this idea. No diets. I love this idea. Although we've been doing really good, haven't we?
I think we have.
Eating pretty
so
darn
far
well
this year, yeah.
Got a couple other things here. It says, with new research, it's been found that in the average lifetime, 2 weeks are spent kissing, and a whopping 9 years are spent watching TV. Turn off the TV and start smooching somebody. Anybody. Preferably, somebody you love. That would be good. We need to kiss a little more, Heidi. Only 2 weeks in an entire lifetime?
Yeah, it doesn't seem like very much, does
No, in 9 years watching TV? Wow. Italian researchers say coffee appears to protect against an eyelid spasm that can lead to a type of blindness. So good news.
Oh.
At least I'm not going to have that because I'm drinking
Yikes.
coffee. So we got that going for us. Coming up, some special things happening today. We'll tell you about that in a bit.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Thought you'd never ask. It's Wednesday, January the 11th. So today is 1/1/1, which it's kind of fun too. It's Cigarettes Are Hazardous to Your Health Day. That's good to know. It's also National Human Trafficking Awareness Day.
Yeah.
And it is Learn Your Name in Morse Code Day. I do not know my name in Morse code. Do you know your name in Morse code?
No.
I know my name in sign language. It's this right here.
I know you do.
And my sad story, I got on an airplane one time. There was a...
Do you know how many times you've told this on the radio?
I don't know, but I'm going to tell because there's that new person who just started listening. Hey, welcome to the program.
Yeah, and all the rest of us get to hear it again.
That's fine.
For like the 90th
sit back
time.
and listen to Uncle John tell stories that make him happy. No, I got on an airplane and there was a gentleman that pulled out a notebook and he wrote, "I'm deaf," and I pointed to myself and I signed my name, and the guy's face lit up and he starts signing. And then I point to his notepad and I wrote, "That's all I know." And then I saw he was so deflated. I was like, wow, I shouldn't have even signed my name. He was so excited he was going to have someone to talk to for the first time ever. And I was like, oh, just ruined this guy's flight, didn't I? All right.
I've never heard that story before.
Haven't?
That is
You were wondering how it ended?
That is such a wonderful story.
Why don't you go away? Coming up, we've got some other fun stuff that maybe I've already talked about. That's all on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
It's a new year and many have made resolutions. Have you? If your resolution is to quit smoking, I want to help. This is one of the biggest resolutions every year. I met a hypnotist that's been able to help people with this one. He can send you a stop smoking hypnosis CD program that you just listen to, and it's designed to help you quit smoking. It's available at a discount for our listeners right now at radiosavings.com. Get the tobacco-free CD program for just $40. That offer is available right now at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. A bird lover ends up taking a flight of his own straight down. This happened in England. Phil Harrison of West Yorks, England, climbed a mill chimney to rescue a hawk that escaped from a friend's aviary. But after grabbing the hawk, he slipped and fell 30 feet.
Oh, yikes.
That is a long ways. 30 feet. So it'd be like, think about a basketball hoop. That's about 10 feet. So 3 times higher than that.
Yeah,
that's a long
crazy.
way. His life was saved when he landed in, what do you think he landed in?
Bird poop.
Yeah, 6 inches of bird poop. How did you know that?
I don't know.
He didn't even let the hawk go. He landed. He broke his neck, had to be hospitalized. He's expected to make a full recovery thanks to landing in 6 inches of pigeon
Yuck.
poop. Yeah, so all the way down, he should have let the bird go. The bird could have flown away on its own. So
Wow.
it's a good thing he didn't land. It would have been even a sadder story. Instead of landing in pigeon poop, he would have landed on the hawk. The poor hawk that he just rescued, if he would have landed on him.
Pigeon poop inside this friend's
It was a
aviary or
no,
whatever?
it was in a mill chimney. So I don't know if he fell in the chimney or if he fell next to the chimney. It doesn't say that on here. But it happened
6 inches of poop is a
yeah,
lot.
that's a lot of poop. I mean,
That's a lot.
and I don't know. Does pigeon poop stink? I've never really smelled it,
I
but I'm
really
assuming
don't
if
know.
it's, feces, it probably doesn't
Somebody
smell.
wasn't cleaning up
good.
very well at wherever he was.
Yeah, wherever that was. That's 6 inches of poop. That's that's got to be over the course of a long time.
That's disgusting.
Unless there's a whole lot of pigeons that go there just for that. We've talked about pigeon poop way too long on the radio. I think we should move on. This happened in England, and you know it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
and this is your brain on drugs, calling the cops after a robbery landed a victim in jail. We hear about this same kind of thing over and over and over. A 23-year-old woman reported being robbed by 3 men who came into her South Wichita home. She was a brave gal and apparently put up a fight. She was treated for a cut to her head at the local hospital. Wichita police said the woman told them 3 men came into her home after 1 a.m., hit her in the head, took some cash, some stereo equipment, credit cards, and a cell phone. But they didn't get everything. They left her drugs there. It was not overlooked by the police.
Why
by
would
the way.
you mention that?
I don't know.
Or did she mention
No,
that?
they went to the house and they found her there. Mm-hmm. But her drugs and paraphernalia were laying out. And, like I said, the bad guys didn't make off with everything. They left that. They didn't want to get caught with, drugs and drug paraphernalia because they could get in trouble for that kind of thing. Like she did. See what I'm saying? Again, that happened in Wichita. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh. How many times have we talked about these things, too? This happened in Texarkana, Arizona, when a demolition crew was sent to a condemned home to knock it down, and they picked the wrong house. They demolished the wrong home. Turns out their home was supposed to be the one on the corner, and they knocked down the house on the corner, but it was the wrong corner. Wouldn't you think that somebody somewhere would figure out a better way of doing this? How many times have we read stories like this?
Are you absolutely certain you're not always reading the same
Heidi,
story
every
over
time it's
and
different.
over?
No, I'm positive. I would never do that.
You have. I've caught you
I've
doing
never
that.
done
And
that.
then you're like, man, we read these stories all the time.
No, this is a... Have you ever heard me say Texarkana, Arizona before?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure I've never said that before. I
Okay.
might not even be getting it right. So anyway, this is our moment of duh. They went in, they knocked down the wrong house, and numerous times, I know for a fact that there's more than this one story. I'll have to start saving my stories to prove to Heidi that I'm not going crazy. Or am I going crazy? I don't know. We've got your scoop of the day on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your scoop of the day. Many older Americans get repeat colon cancer tests that they don't need, and Medicare is paying for it. A study suggests that this is one of the unnecessary risks that elderlies take to waste money. What? Like they want this? Almost half of the Medicare patients in the study had a colonoscopy less than 7 years after getting normal results from another test. The test recommended every 10 years, starting at age 50, but there are some that said, I'm going to do that again, just in case. Now, I've never met anybody that said colonoscopy was the best memories I ever have. I mean, usually when you talk to somebody about that, they don't really think that it's fun.
No.
It's not designed to be fun.
But, I mean, if you're worried or if you have a family history or something,
Yeah.
you're concerned, or you know a friend who passed away from that or
That would make
whatever.
you concerned, yeah.
You would go more often. And,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, they got... These are
it's
just
better
people
to be
who
safe
got
than
the...
sorry.
I agree.
Mean, who cares?
These are just people who got the green
if
light.
they're paying for it.
Everything was good. Well, Medicare is paying for it. That's where the story came from. They're saying
Yeah.
Medicare is spending all this
I'm
money
saying
they don't
if
want
it's
to spend.
covered,
so.
then it's covered.
I don't know.
If they don't want to cover it, then don't cover
Heidi,
it.
here's a story I've been holding, not because I wanted to, but because it's always been, for whatever reason, it's always been on the bottom of my scoop of the day stack.
Okay.
And I think I've had it since November.
Okay.
I've had it for a long time. Civil rights for robots? It could be coming. Maybe it's here by now. This story's been around a while. New study released by the British government says someday robots might become so advanced they could demand their own independence. What do you think of that? Doesn't that sound like a movie?
How can a robot demand anything?
Well,
They
they're
have
just
to
saying
be
it could happen.
programmed to demand
But they're
something.
saying it could happen. The United Kingdom Office of Science and Innovation foresees a day when robots will be able to reproduce and
good
think for
Lord.
themselves. Don't look for a robot revolution anytime soon. The study says independence for robots won't be much of an issue until the mid-21st century. So it's out there a little ways. They're saying, hey, we got a little bit of time. So there you go. Been holding that story for several months. Kind of was hoping it was a
That
better
is
story
really
than that.
concerning that anybody is even thinking that that's a possibility.
I thought you'd get a little more riled up about
Just
it. But
quit making the stupid robots.
there you go. That could
If
answer it.
they're gonna start demanding stuff, say, fine, we're done making you. You're
Yeah,
done.
and then we'll have a robot revolution and we'll all
How are
die.
they going to revolt if they aren't being produced?
Well, they'll start building themselves.
Oh,
It says that they can reproduce in this story. I don't know.
wow.
Moving on. According to the Treasury Department Inspector General, a sampling of IRS employees found they used about half of their online time to visit gambling sites, to trade stocks, to participate in chat rooms or social media, and do other non-work related activities. So that's what's going on at the IRS.
There you
But
go.
I'm not going to complain about it because I don't want to be audited. So keep up the good work, folks.
You know what? We have an accountant and we have very good records. And if we were audited, it would not be a big deal because I know we've done everything right. So
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not
true.
afraid of being audited.
I'm not afraid of it either, but it just sounds like as much fun as our first story about the colonoscopy. So it doesn't sound like fun. Authorities in Massachusetts arrested a con man. They found $20 million. Guess where it was?
Where?
Stashed in his bed. $20 million
Whoa.
in his mattress. So apparently, he either has a really big bed or $20 million is not as much in my mind as it is in my mind. In my mind, that'd be like Scrooge McDuck money. You could swim in it.
Right.
But apparently, $20 million doesn't go as far as it does in my mind. In my mind, it's a ton. Hey, a zombie apocalypse won't take as long as some people might think. A new study by people who have way too much time on their
Oh my
hands.
gosh. These are the
says-
same people who did the robot
Apparently.
garbage.
They say a zombie apocalypse would take over the Earth population and it would get it down to just 273 survivors in 100 days. Now, you know they're really working on this when they don't even round up to 275 or 270. 273 specific survivors within just 100 days. Yeah, whatever. Keep on working on that one. I just don't. Do you believe any of that?
Not even a
don't
little
know.
bit. That's
First
the
of
most
all,
ridiculous thing I have ever heard.
Zombies are impossible. It's not going to happen. So, anyway, we'll just move on. That's going to do it for your scoop of the day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Radio advertising works. When it's done right, it works even better. There are many things you can do to get a better response, and shouting sale really isn't the best thing, believe it or not. Did you know that when you put words to music, they're 9 times more memorable? If you're trying to get people to remember your company, consider a jingle. We work with one of the very best jingle companies in the business, and we'd love to use music to help you grow your company. Learn more and hear examples at RadioReallyWorks.com. That's RadioReallyWorks.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. It's a new year. You ready for a new you? I know a lot of folks out there making these things called resolutions, and one of the biggest resolutions every year is to lose weight. Now, we've got somebody on the line right now that's going to talk to us about ways that we can help our body lose some weight without using that 4-letter word diet. So we've got Rebecca Scritchfield. She is a well-being coach, a registered dietitian, nutritionist, and a certified health and fitness specialist. And she has a new book called Body Kindness, Transform Your Health from the Inside Out and Never Say Diet Again. Rebecca Scritchfield on the line with us now. How are you doing, Rebecca?
I'm doing well, thank you.
This is a really busy time of the year for people to go on diets. You're saying, hey, just be kind to your body and you don't need diets. You've got the book Body Kindness. Tell us, what was the inspiration?
Oh, I wrote this book for myself first. After I had my second child, I kind of re-established some unhelpful eating habits and exercise habits where I was really not being very kind to myself and how I talked to myself and the way I treated myself. And my husband just looked at me and said, you help people create better habits, and I know you're not in a good place right now. I think this deserves your attention. And I wrote these kind of goals down, and one of them was be kind to your body. And I knew as soon as I wrote it that I was on to something that I needed and I knew a lot of people needed. And so I wrote the book, and now I have it out there to help as many people as possible just kind of learn how to make choices differently and change their mindset so that they become a different person and create habits that fit them rather than jumping from one diet or plan to the next and never really learning any skills that you could live with.
And I like that you have this broken down pretty darn simply, and you've got it here, 4 different parts. What you do, how you feel, who you are, and where you belong. So let's start with what you do. Let's talk about that section.
Yeah, so that section is all about choices, and I really wanted people to see all these different surprising and unexpected things that impact your daily decisions. And then you're going to learn about food choices, fitness choices, and sleep choices. You're going to get like where the science is, but delivered in a fun and helpful way. You'll learn through client stories about how to make improvements in those areas, so then you can think about what's going to fit you best. That's going to help you later on when you're setting goals. Yeah, it's very, very important to understand the power of choice. It can actually boost your energy and your mood and create this effect that I call spiraling up, which opens you up to be happier and stronger and just more connected to our world, feeling like, life is good and life is meaningful.
Nice. Now, the second part is how you feel. Let's talk about that part.
Sure. So, my big goal in there is to help people understand that all of our emotions, even the bad ones, are actually good for us. And as humans, we have a very difficult time handling negative emotions. And that is what ends up leading to, okay, forget it, we're going to order takeout tonight, or I'm going to drink the bottle of wine, or, ice cream out of the container, or skip the workout. Our mood can actually really impact our choices. And when we're in a bad mood, or we have a conflict, argument, a trouble at work, we tend to make poor choices. And that's what I call downward spiraling. And so I want people to understand that even when you feel bad, it's not that you have to fake yourself into a positive emotion, but the next choice you make can actually shift you from a downward spiral to neutral and then to back up, so that tomorrow's version of you is saying, good job. You were in a bad mood or you had a problem yesterday, but good job, not self-sabotaging.
Very nice. Now, who you are. Let's talk about that section.
Yeah, so this is about setting goals and this idea of that you can become whoever you want to be by working with the person you are right now. But there are certain things we need to be able to do. We need to have time to plan. We need to be able to protect our calendar by setting boundaries. Sometimes we're saying no to things that we were really just saying yes to be nice. Right? Sometimes we're rethinking that, maybe I don't have to do the 90-minute yoga class as much as I want, but I only have time for 30 minutes. So today's workout is going to be something at home, or even a shorter yoga practice at home. But it's better than skipping. And so I create body kindness blueprints that you can do to guide your planning, that helps you focus in on the key self-care habits that are important for you for that week. And then you go into your calendar and plan them. And then it's just about taking action on your plan.
Awesome. And then the last one is where you belong. Let's talk about that.
Sure. I love this part of the book because I really wanted to give people the most open mindset about what really matters in life. And far too often, and I've done this myself, right? But we avoid living our current lives because we feel not ready or not good enough. So, no, I'm not going to go for that promotion or that career change, or, I'm not going to go on that blind date. I'm not going to get in the bathing suit at the beach, or I want to take the picture. I don't want to be in it. So we end up because of shame and we let our emotions get in the way of truly living a positive and joyful life. So Part 4 is about connecting to the people who matter most to you and spending time with them, investing in them to help boost your mood that really then comes back and refuels all the stuff you want to do with body kindness. It's like you don't have to wait to be a certain size or have a certain amount of health to be enjoying just life as it is right now, because no day is given to us.
Exactly. Again, our guest today, Rebecca Scritchfield, RDN. Now, what does RDN stand for? I was going to ask you that ahead of time, and I forgot to.
Sure, that's a registered dietitian and nutritionist, and that's a credentialed nutrition expert. So it means I know what I'm talking about when it comes to food nutrition.
That's awesome. Well, the book is called Body Kindness, and where can folks find this book?
So it's available everywhere books are sold, online retailers such as Amazon and Target and Barnes & Noble, and your local bookstore. And if you go to my website, which is bodykindnessbook.com, you can learn a little bit more about the philosophy and the book. And if you want, you can even get a free chapter and do a free Body Kindness e-course I'm offering.
That's fantastic. And what's that website once again?
It's bodykindnessbook.com.
Very nice. Rebecca, thank you very much for taking the time to visit with us today.
Thank you for having me.
And again, the book is called Body Kindness, Transform Your Health from the Inside Out and Never Say Diet Again. I love the sounds of that. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
When is the last time you changed the air filter on your furnace? Now, don't be embarrassed. That happens to a bunch of us. The furnace filter should be changed often. This will help your heating and cooling system run more efficiently, and it'll even extend the life of your system. Now, there's an easy way to make it happen. Filter Easy, a new subscription service that delivers your size filter right to your door on the schedule you choose. It's easy. Filter Easy. One less thing to worry about. Learn about a special offer available now at radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
According to a poll by Progressive Insurance, 63% of people say they talk to their cars. I do that all the time. I'm like, come on, please start, please start. Hey, it started. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
You burn more calories chewing and digesting a piece of celery than you do eating it, than you
I knew
consume.
that. I did know that.
So you actually burn more calories than you gain. So celery is a good thing. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
A dog sweats through the pads of their feet.
Oh.
I do that too, especially on hot days. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
In Britain, they don't have cookies, they have biscuits.
I knew that.
So if I wanted to get a dog biscuit, what would that, do they have dog biscuits? Do they call those biscuits
they would just
too?
be dog biscuits.
Oh, I don't know. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
President Woodrow Wilson could not read until he was 11 years old.
Really?
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. He was actually known to be a very smart president, too. He was the president of Princeton University before he was the president.
Oh.
So then he became the president.
Interesting.
He's also and he still is, the only president to beat two incumbent presidents.
Huh.
So he beat the incumbent at the time, William Howard Taft, and he beat Teddy Roosevelt. So, and he couldn't even read until he was 11.
He could read.
He could read when he was president. All right. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This is Richard Lustig, the world's first and only 7-time lottery game grand prize winner. Since I endorsed Lottolicious, I have won something every single draw. They do all the work. You don't have to worry about running to the store to buy your tickets. They take care of all that. So if you're looking for the best way to play the lottery, to give yourself the best chance of winning, go to radiolottopool.com and join today. Again, that website is radiolottopool.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. A California man used to have two pets, a pit bull terrier and a Burmese python. He's down to just one. Guess which one? Which one do you think ate the other one? Do you think the python ate the pit bull, or do you think the pit bull ate the python?
It's hard to say.
Just guess. Which one?
I would say the python ate the pit bull.
Well, let's see if Heidi's right. I purposely didn't read this, so I don't know. A man in Northern California loved his pets. He had a pit bull terrier puppy that was incredibly cute and lovable, and a Burmese python. The man used to have two pets. Now he's down to one, a 200-pound Burmese python with a pit bull-sized bulge in its stomach.
Oh, man.
The man called police immediately when he found that his snake had gotten loose. Then he found it under his house, but then he realized that his dog was missing.
Oh, how awful.
His 30-pound pit bull puppy. Of course, that mystery was solved quite easily. It took 3 hours for the owner and a friend to corral the snake as officers stood by for safety reasons. Officials are now investigating whether this python should be considered a wild animal and see if this man is in a violation of the city code. A Burmese python in California. So I don't think that's a good idea. I don't know.
I don't think so either.
If it's able to eat your dog?
Yeah.
But here's the thing I got to say.
I mean, 30 pounds, it could have eaten a child. It could have eaten a toddler.
I'm just saying, it's probably better that it ate his puppy than, his neighbor's kid or something. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And
I'm glad it was his dog and not a neighbor's dog,
Yeah,
because
that's
at least
scary.
it was his own stupid fault that his animal got
Yeah,
eaten.
but it's still sad for the puppy dog. I
I agree
story.
completely. I think it's awful.
It is awful.
Snakes are awful anyways.
Well, I got nothing against snakes. They're kind of creepy and slithery and whatnot.
The only nice thing about snakes is they eat spiders.
So,
I like that.
okay.
Otherwise, I could do without them both.
I got no problem with spiders. There's one right behind you, by the way. So, just kidding. It's in front of you. No, we actually have had a lot of spiders in this room, haven't we? I don't know what the deal is. Coming up, we've got some more fun stuff we're going to talk about. I'll give you the headline. Do you think your husband is really listening to you when you speak? Well, we'll give you the answer to that if I remember in a bit.
John and Heidi.
It's a new year and many have made resolutions. Have you? If your resolution was to lose weight, you're not alone. This is the single biggest resolution every year. And every year, millions of people try and many fail. I met a hypnotist that's been able to help people with this one. He can send you a weight loss hypnosis program on CD that you just listen to, and it's designed to help you reduce the cravings. It's available at a discount for our listeners right now at radiosavings.com. Get the weight loss CD program for just $50. That offer is available now at radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
Heidi, do you think I'm really listening when you're talking to me?
No. 9 times out of 10, no.
Well, it says here, rest assured, he is. It just doesn't look like he is. Research has proven that women...
So wrong.
No, listen to
Because
this.
I'll mention the same thing I talked to you about like 3 days later, and you're like, why didn't you tell me about that?
It's because I have a terrible memory.
The study is flawed already, I can tell you.
Let me tell you. Let's read the story first. Research has proven that women listen to other women speak. They use an average of 6 expressions with 10 seconds to reflect and feed back the feeling of the person talking, like mirroring what you're saying. On the other hand, men remain impassive while listening, so they don't portray the emotions like a woman does. And that typically answers why a woman will think that you're not listening, because it looks like you're not listening, even if you are. I thought it was funny. The other day you said, are you upset? What was wrong? You got a message and you look like you're mad. And I was like, that's just I'm reading a message face. I have resting angry face. What's that?
Apparently.
RAF, resting angry. Apparently I look angry all the time. I'm intimidating. People moving out of my way. What's wrong with him? I don't know. Just going to get coffee. I need to smile more. All right, coming up, we're going to talk about a dummy that is being used to slow people down. It's on the way.
John and Heidi.
You can call this officer a dummy, and it's okay because he really is a dummy. It's just a mannequin dressed like a police officer, and he's sitting alongside the highway, and it's actually helping with traffic accidents. They're way down. Speeding violations are way down. By the time drivers realize that it's not really a police officer, they've already slowed down. But those drivers who do think that he's real, they slow down. And anyway, it's worked out really well. They're not going to get nabbed because the dummy has an automatic... What is this now? Oh. So the ones that realize he's a dummy and decide they're going to speed up could still get nabbed. He has a automatic activated radar system to nail offenders. Keep commuters on their toes. Officers plan to keep the driver guessing by occasionally swapping the dummies for real police officers. Wow, what do you think of that?
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's interesting.
I have a problem with nabbing a driver if there's not a real officer there to actually nab the driver. Just like I have problems with
there's not
cameras.
This would be a dummy. A fake.
Yeah, I have a problem with that part of it. I don't have a problem with
Swapping 'em
having
out?
a dummy there to just make people slow down. That's fine.
Yeah.
But to issue a citation without a real person being there, that I have a problem with. Just like the traffic cams.
You're not a fan
I don't
of
like
those.
those. No.
Yeah. She went through and got a ticket. That's why.
I don't get the tickets. You do.
You did. Remember, like a year
Oh my
and a
God,
half ago.
years ago.
Years. Oh, so that doesn't even count anymore. I mean,
But I have an issue with them because what if I wasn't driving
Guilty.
my car? It gives you
Guilty.
a citation based on your license plate number.
There you go. All right. Coming up, we've got some good news, and we got one other story to get to before then. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
It's a new year, and many have made resolutions. Have you? If your resolution was to quit drinking or to kick a drug habit, we want to help. Our friends at Keystone can help you determine the best program for your particular needs. This is something that really matters to me. My father was an alcoholic. He lost his battle at age 49. That's just too young. If you're searching for help, I hope my friends at Keystone can help you find the help you're looking for. Call 844-204-1055. That's Keystone, 844-204-1055.
John and Heidi.
Heidi, this could have been my good news story. And this is actually another one that I've been saving for a little while. This happened like a month ago, and I just thought it was such a cool story. When police officer in Wisconsin pulled over a young man for speeding, he considered giving him a ticket, but instead he gave him a lesson in dressing for success. Officer Martin Folick pulled a car over that had Trevor Keeney, and he was a little agitated at the time, from the University of Wisconsin, in Stout, whatever that is. Keeney said, "I'm sorry, I have to get a tie tied. I have a presentation, and I was going to see my buddy, and he wasn't there, so now I'm running behind." So he didn't know how to tie his own tie.
Right.
And he was going to make a presentation. He needed someone to tie the tie.
I've actually seen this video.
I saw it too. It's really cool.
It is cool.
The officer then asked for the necktie and immediately started multitasking. He put the tie around his own neck. He showed him how to do it. He tied the tie. Then it says here, making sure his license and insurance all checked out. Nice gesture, wasn't without slight complications. He handed the tie back and it was too short. So they got to retie the tie. And then he sent him on down the road with a warning. Now properly dressed, Keeney went on to get a 92 on his presentation for an outside sales class. And the cool thing is, this story made the rounds back in December, and it made the rounds again just now because I saw it, and this was one that I had saved. I was going to use it for my good news story. Trying to go through and clean up some of the stuff I've been saving, Heidi, because I'm a hoarder. I've got stuff
You are a hoarder.
stacked all over. And my office is getting pretty...
That was actually a very nice story.
It is. It's a
and
cool
it's nice
story.
that somebody took the time to show him because we had
Yeah.
somebody show up at an
Oh,
interview
yeah.
with his tie just tied into a knot.
And then the other, like the one piece was too long and he just tucked it in his shirt. So we're sitting here talking and I'm noticing
So
his
you could
tie.
look at it, it's like a stain,
And
like
you
the
couldn't-
talking stain. You just kept looking at his tie.
You couldn't look away. We still worked with the guy. Didn't we? We didn't.
We didn't hire him.
Well, we did too. We didn't hire him, but he was wanting to work with us. So we worked with him. We did. We absolutely did. Anyway, I just thought it was funny. Yeah, tied his necktie in just a knot. So I was like, there you go.
That's
I
good enough.
Got an important meeting with the Smalls. Just anything will do. Wear a hefty bag. I'll be fine. All right, coming up, we do have some good news. That is on the way.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap this program up with some good news. Today you kind of got a second helping of good news because I had some other good news too. But this is a really cool story. And here's the reason that I absolutely love this story, because it reminds me of my childhood and my wonderful brothers. I love my brother Jason and my brother Joe. And we would do this stuff when we were kids. And they have kind hearts just like these youngsters. There was a man cruising down the road in his truck, and his sons, out of nowhere, said, "Dad, you need to stop." So he didn't know what was going on, but he pulled over.
I saw this.
And there was a gentleman shoveling snow in his wheelchair. And these young boys decided that, hey, that's not right. We're going to help. So Dad, proud Dad, took a photo of a couple of boys, ages 10 and age 6. And he said, they made me pull over. They saw this gentleman in a wheelchair shoveling. And this was in Medina. I'm thinking, is that in Minnesota? I'm not sure where it is. Anyway, this happened on December 11th. Like I said, I've been holding on to this for a little while. But I've got a link to this story on our Facebook page. And it says, the gentleman said these were not the first people who've stopped to help him. There have been others as well. And it turns out that there's a lot of nice people out there that do this kind of thing. They'll stop and they'll help people in their needs. And I think that's really cool because there are other people that commented on his post online. My computer froze up, so I can't tell you any of that stuff. A couple in their 60s, they were out, and some people stopped and helped them shovel. I just think it's really cool when that happens. So, gonna have to call my IT people. Oh, wait a minute. I have no IT people. Well, my computer's done over there. I'm gonna just pause that. Anyway, it is posted on our Facebook page if you want to read the entire story. Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. And I got to quit spilling coffee on this darn thing, don't I?
Probably a good idea.
That'd be a good plan. All right, time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. If you have a good news story that you'd like to share, you can certainly do that right through the same page. And I want to let you know, coming soon, we have a new feature to our program called Dear John Letters. And you can get all the details on Dear John Letters at Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.